What's up, guys? We're going to be talking about going from a side hustle phone flipping business to a side hustle phone flipping thing to a business, taken from this photo here, transitioned over to this as an systems and operations manual. So, all right. So transitioning from a phone flipping side hustle to a business. So core 4 for the side hustle, obviously reach out. You want to be sending 20 offers daily. Do that. Okay. The script for this is, hey, I run a business that buys phones, MacBook, iPads, smartwatches, cameras, and other electronics. If I could pay you cash today, would you be willing to go any lower on the price? The platforms you want to use this for, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, similar platforms like Nextdoor and stuff like that. Does anybody use something different from this script? I'm sure you guys do, because you guys hit Matt or listen to Matt and stuff all the time. Also, Kayla has a different approach to this. But does anybody have a different approach to this that I don't know about?
I've tried Matt's what does he call it? Three
The
dings?
3 ping method? Yeah.
Yeah, the 3 ping method.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like yours better because it's kind of fire and forget, and you don't have to.
Yeah.
You can hit one button and it goes out.
Yeah, I call it shotgunning for leads. Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion, so you could do the 3 ping method like this. You could just break it up. Hey, I run a business that buys phones and blah blah blah. If I could pay cash today, well, I mean, you would have to add something else in there, but you could do the 3 ping method. You could, but personally, I'm all about just getting the reach out as quick and fast as possible. Is it dirty? Yeah. But does it hit a lot of people? Yeah.
And I like that it says up front, hey, I'm running a business.
Yeah.
So then later on, when you use the other negotiation points, like I buy phones for a living, so I'm a serious buyer, all that lines up with this first message that goes out that you're running a business.
Yeah, exactly. The next thing is ads. After you get a hang of the reach outs and you're doing it well, you're getting some deals. You want to add some of the profit that you're making back into ads at about $5 to $10, $15 a day between Facebook and Google in the beginning anyway. You can consider Instagram based on your city. If you're in like Miami, Florida, or somewhere that is very Instagram heavy, it works insanely well. But if you're in Houston, Texas, I guess, where Instagram is not as heavily utilized for me, then probably not better to use it. So, but anyway, you want to generate inbound leads where potential sellers come to you. The idea that with ads, guys, is we are trying to get the people that are not willing to list their item on Marketplace themselves. They want the easy way out, right? Like that's who we're targeting. The closing ratio on this is about 1 out of 10. That's what we normally see. And then something that I want to really hammer in is like you have to follow up, especially with Facebook. Like you might as well just remove like the ace book and just put follow up. If because that's how it works, because it's interruption marketing, right? Interruption marketing is the way Facebook works. We're interrupting their feed and trying to get their attention, and that's how it works. So just putting that out there. And then once you got that 1 out of 10, that one person, what you want to do is you want to try and roll them into a referral or a repeat customer, because that's how you make money long term with Facebook. Okay. And that's mainly because the reach on Facebook has just gone down so much over the past couple of years. And it's not our fault. But if you can roll it into a repeat customer, if you can roll it into 2 referrals, hopefully, like ask who else do you know that's awesome like you that might be looking to sell devices too. Like that works. It works really well. All right. Diversity. Focus on the top 10 electronics: iPhones, Samsungs, MacBooks, smartwatches, cameras, iPads, PlayStation, game consoles. So I want to build a big focus here on like Samsungs, right? A lot of phone stores in your guys' area do not buy Samsungs. A lot of them. It's a massive market. Guys, there's more Samsungs in the world than there are iPhones. Samsung dominates the market in terms of smartphones. Apple dominates the market in terms of status phones, right? So think about it like that. The typical Samsung user, it cannot afford that. However, there are, obviously you want to get the Z Flip 4s and the Z Flip 5s and the newer Samsung Galaxies. Those are the ones you want to aim for. And I always like to tell this story. I had a guy call me on from Google My Business a couple of months ago, and I answered the phone. And I was like, "Hey, this is Chris with Bell Electronics. How can I help you?" And he was like, "Please tell me that you buy Samsungs." And I was like, "Yeah, of course I buy Samsungs. Why wouldn't I buy Samsungs?" And he was like, "I've called 3 other phone stores, and none of them buy Samsungs." And I was like, and the dude drove 30 minutes to sell it to me. I paid him $320 for it. I sold it that same day for $700 on eBay. It was unlocked and everything. And all of the other stores right next to him, they don't buy Samsungs. They just lose out on money every single day because they don't have the knowledge around diversifying what they buy. You become way more valuable to your customers whenever you buy more things. I mean, think about it like this, right? Like if you have a customer, I had a customer this morning. So he was a repeat customer, actually. He sold me this camera right here. This is not an expensive camera. It is a Fujifilm Instax Mini Evo, right? He hit me up this morning and he was like, "Hey man, I sold a phone to you a few months ago and I had a great experience, and I have a camera that I'm looking to sell because my girlfriend cheated on me and I bought it for her, and I want to get rid of it now, and I'll take whatever price you give me." And then he was like, "I'll meet you at 12 at Starbucks." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I offered him $80 and it was a deal. Like, I'm going to sell it for about 170. So that's the power of being able to buy more things. He knew that I bought more things than just iPhones. That's why he called again. He was like, "Hey, I know I bought my phone. I was wondering if you'd buy this too, because I know you said you buy more than iPhones." See what I mean, guys? You become more valuable to the customer. All right. Negotiation. You want to master negotiation to improve conversion rates and profit margins. You want to avoid asking too many questions before making an offer. Make the offer quickly and confidently. You guys, you see this with Aaron all the time. He goes over the negotiation script all the time. And it's always not too many questions. Make the offer quickly. And then, if you focus on my method, it's the bullet negotiation strategy. Aaron uses something similar. Aaron just goes into a lot more detail with hard closes, hard offers. I don't even know all of the terms. It's so in depth, it's ridiculous. But but if you know how to do it, because I'll be real with you guys, I use a lot of his phrases over time just because I learned it years ago. But I'll just every now and then weave in pieces of his script with mine, depending on the situation. And Jaime probably does this too. He was in Dave's program and everything too. So the expected outcome here, guys, by doing this core 4 side hustle model, right? The expected outcome is you make $30,000 to $50,000 a year. That's the expected outcome. Okay, if you do these consistently, 20 offers a day. Now, here's the deal: if you increase this, and you increase this, and you increase all of this stuff, you will make more. And that's how the game works. Everything with this business is an inputs and outputs equation. If you input more effort and more reps, you're inevitably just going to make more money. That's just how it works, right? And that's one reason I love this business so much, is because it's based on effort and not time. If you put in the time, like, you can add, like, if you put in time just thinking about the business all the time, that's cool. You're learning something. And me and Matt actually went over this on the podcast this morning. He's like, you can be, and he actually compared it to food, which I thought was a great analogy. Like, you can rack up your calories on a daily basis. You can, pound out 2,000 to 3,000 calories and get fat on just food. But if you don't work out, you're never using those calories, so they become dormant and they don't work, right? The same thing is true with knowledge. If you just consume and consume and consume and consume, but never implement and never quote unquote exercise the knowledge that you have and take action, it never comes to fruition. Just like you never lose weight if you just keep consuming calories and don't exercise. It's the same thing, right? But the great thing about it is if you consume more and then output more, then you start gaining muscle. And then you start gaining, stamina, right? Which the way that I'm going to phrase this is reps, right? If you can run longer, that means you just put more reps into the game to get better, right? So the expected outcome with this is about $30,000 to $50,000 a year in annual profit. Now, to transition it to a business, what you want to do, you need a Google My Business profile. More than likely nowadays, you're going to need an LLC to do this, okay? And at this point, if you're already making $30,000 to $50,000, or even if you're making $10,000 in sales per month, just for the tax benefits alone, you should get an LLC, okay? Highly recommended. But you want to create a Google My Business profile. You want to use this to collect reviews and improve your local search visibility. It establishes massive credibility and differentiates you from all of the competitors in your area outside of EcoATM. Okay? Like there is not, like if I go and search my profile right now, and my profile isn't even that old. So if I go to Google, because I had to redo it and whatever, sell a phone near me. So if I scroll down, wait, where am I at? Oh, I went to Texas City. Boom. I'm number 2. Bell Electronics, Leaf City. We pay cash for phones, right? EcoATM is the only one ahead of me. But if you click on my profile here, like, why wouldn't you sell to me, right? Like, I got all these awesome photos of me with customers and all the types of stuff that I buy, right? Like, people like this stuff. And I'll tell you guys another thing here. You can send this to somebody who, for example, you might want to ship you a phone, right? You can send this to them for credibility purposes. It works that way, and it works well, okay? So definitely want to hone in on Google My Business. This will add, it takes about 6 months to really build it up after consistent action. You need to be posting on it. You need to be adding reviews to it all the time. You need to be doing that type of stuff, and you'll just inevitably just move up in the searchability or the visibility area. And the cool thing about this, guys, is most phone flippers, they do not set this up. Why don't they set this up? Because they want all them under the table deals. They want cash deals. They want to buy and flip on marketplace. They never have a true business, ever. And they want to keep it that way. Do you guys know how easy it is to beat those guys? It is so easy to beat those guys. All you got to do is outmarket them and you win. So a little story here. So a couple of years ago, I was pretty early onto the Google My Business scene and the Facebook ad scene and the Instagram ad scene when we were starting out flipping phones. This is probably like 2019. There was 3 or 4 other guys in my area that were doing the same thing. They were posting the free ads on Marketplace. They were posting the ads on Craigslist. They were doing that stuff, right? I started the paid ads game, and they started seeing my ads all the time. And I literally steamrolled them over. And guys, this is a city of about 200,000 people. It was not big. It wasn't Houston, Texas, like I'm in now, right? Anyway, I was able to steamroll these guys over because number one, they weren't taking their business seriously at all. Like this was a complete side hustle to them. It was like one of those, it was the business that they had whenever they had money, like extra money, right? That was the extent of their business. And that's all it was. So I was able to systematically and easily just kind of overtake the market in that very small area very quickly with ads, with Google My Business, with all of it, just because I was able to get more visibility than everybody else, right? So yeah, store partnerships. You want to establish some connections with pawn shops, repair shops, and other resellers. All right, we'll talk about other resellers more here in a minute. So you want to the approach here is you want to use reach outs to contact the stores and propose buying bulk deals. Let me show you guys how to do this really fast. So if we go to, let me go here. Let me go to Marketplace. So if we go to Marketplace, how do we find pawn shops? Well, number one, you can go to Google, but what you can also do is, oh, I got all these messages. You can type in, well, let me go to a different, not Punta Cana. I was helping somebody else out who is in a different country. So League City. There we go. All right, so you want to go up here to Marketplace, type in pawn shop. Wow, okay, I don't know what happened there. So you can type in pawn shop and ooh, what did we find immediately? Hello. All right, so this is not quote unquote a deal, but this is somebody that works at a pawn shop. You can tell by the glass case that's right here, right? So, hi guys, this is my Cash America account for pawn shop I work for, so blah, 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 blah. All right, Isaiah, we can reach out to him. Look at all this. Oh, hello, what's this? Oh, that looks good. So you can literally reach out to the employees that work at the pawn shops in this way. It makes your life super easy and you get an in with the pawn shop like immediately. And how do you guys reach out to these people? Oh, the reach out method again. Hey, I run a company that buys used and damaged electronics. See what I mean? It's the same process, just a different type of person, right? This is an employee. Employees, they don't care. They just need to make sales to hit whatever. So yeah, this one was listed a year ago too. Wild. So I don't know if he still works there, but we'll see. But you guys can do this throughout. Like look at this. This is wild. So you can do this, and you can all of these things are pawn shops, every single one, right? So if you hit on Nike shoes here, just go to their profile right here, scroll down. Oh, there's an Oculus Quest right there. See what I mean, guys? It's that easy to reach out to these people. How do you reach out to phone stores? So you can do that one pretty easily too. So you can be like, you just type in iPhone actually, and you can find them pretty easily. So like this one right here, I guarantee you this is a phone shop. So price is fair, fixed, working conditions. Yeah, this is a phone store, I think. Maybe not. They just did a very good job of, here we go. This is probably one. Yeah, so this is a phone store right here, right? How do you reach out to the phone stores? Hey, I run a company that buys used and damaged phones. Same thing, except at the end of it, you want to remove. If I were able to pay a better price, it would be, hey, I run a company that buys used and damaged iPhones, MacBooks, blah 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 blah, and more. I was wondering if you guys had any extra damaged stock you might be looking to sell. The reason I like to ask for damaged stock is simply because they are more likely to get rid of that first than they are their used stuff, right? So that's what I would send first, and it's a good in for the market. And so I'm going to add this to the sheet too. Let me go here and I like to go for the damaged stock first. Maybe change the script here. Paste. It's all blue. No. Must fix. Black. It's still blue. Highlight. Bam, fixed. All right, cool. So networking with other resellers. Does anybody have any questions yet? Feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions before I continue on here.
Yeah, you can negotiate with those pawn shops. I never tried buying from pawn shops.
Oh yeah, yeah. They literally have signs in the shops that say we negotiate.
Oh,
and I
okay.
said, say less.
Yeah, like I've gone into pawn shops, but I've never, thought of even reaching out.
Yeah. It's just another level to the game. So I call that level like level
I just
2.
feel so dumb right now. I'm like, duh, I should have called.
You can make a lot of money off of pawn shops, especially whenever you buy bulk deals. Sometimes you'll end up getting like iCloud lock stuff, but like sometimes you have to do it just to make the deal work. Because here's what happens with pawn shops, guys. A lot of the times they need to move inventory. So a couple of weeks ago, I was actually at one of my regular pawn shops, and I overheard them talking about their sales quota for last month. And they were like, yeah, we only did about $36,000 in sales last month from a store. And they purchased over $50,000 worth of stuff. Guys, those guys are doing worse than some of the people in this program. Like 36 grand in sales is nothing. Like in terms of like when you've been doing this for years, right? Even if you've been doing this for, I mean, let's be real, 36,000 in sales, that's around 7 to 8 grand in profit total. Like it's what it is at like 30, 40%, or probably closer to 25, 30. But like pawn shops don't live off of that margin either. So if you walk in there, and I've seen this happen, like a lot of those guys, like the owners are never there, by the way. Never. I've never met one pawn shop owner that, unless they were like a mom and pop shop, right? And most of those guys don't do deals. You're looking for like Cash America Pawn, Easy Pawn, Easy Money Pawn, like the ones that are like in the Easy network. Easy Pawn owns like everybody. Like it's wild. They have a whole monopoly going on. But the cool thing about that is they need to move product at the end of every single month to hit their quotas. And these freaking employees, guys, they will wheel and deal to make it, because they get bonuses whenever that happens on their paychecks. So if they sell more, they make more. It's a performance-based bonus, right? So whenever I walk in, I'm always like, hey, I run a business that buys blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh, yeah, say less, but let me show you what we got. They're always like that. So you can also call them inside of Pawn Shop Profits. I have a whole hour-long video of me just calling pawn shops the whole time. And you guys can see how that works.
Hey, Chris, do you test the devices at the pawn shop?
All devices are tested by the pawn shop, which is pretty cool. They're guaranteed to work. Pretty awesome.
Chris, will they also note whether they're like iCloud locked and all that stuff?
Yeah, a lot of time they will. They have to disclose that. Yeah. They have a no return policy most of the time, but like they have to fully disclose what's wrong with it, and a lot of people just don't know what iCloud locked means, and they buy it anyway, and they're just they just don't know. So it is what it is. All right, moving on. All right. So next one here, guys. Networking with other resellers. So cool thing that I found out a while back is only about 2 out of 10 phone flippers or resellers or whatever sell online. 2 out of 10. Guys, amazing stats there to know. Why is that? Well, it's kind of like what I said earlier. Most people just want under the table deals. They want to deal with cash. They want to do, stuff like that. This is how they like to run the business. It's whatever. But cool thing about that is you can become somebody's like local direct buyer in this way. And I've done this multiple times. They don't last super long most of the time because they eventually find out that, there's higher paying buyers out there because they're going to start researching and figure out who I sell to. But what you can do is you can create your own price sheet. You can give it to them and they can buy stuff locally and then just sell it to you. Now the margins on this are not amazing. Okay. You're going to be making about 40 to 50, maybe even 30 to $50 in profit per device. You got to be okay with volume outside of, and that's why I don't do it a whole lot, is because I like to focus on massive profits. But if you're looking to like scale up the game in your area like crazy, then this is a really good way to do it. And then you can even give them some knowledge on how to buy game consoles and different things like that too. Now, how do you find other resellers in your area, guys? It's so easy. It's ridiculously easy. Let's go to Marketplace. Let's go type in cash for phones. Boom. There's all your leads. There they are. Right here. So I'm going to find one near me. I always say Houston. I want League City. Let's see where this guy's at. Yeah, he's in the middle of Houston. I don't want to do that. Too far away. Anyway, this is how you find them. You literally just go here, you DM them. You're like, hey, I see you buy phones. Do you have a buyer in the local area? And that's what you do. That's it. And that's how it works. So there's no, and by the way, there's no, I don't think they're cash or consoles. If you can find somebody in your area that buys consoles, it might be really good to oh, hello, look at that. What is this place? Oh, these are like old. Oh, PS4 consoles for $50. What is this place? Interesting. Oh yeah, here's another pawn shop right here. So they're putting this on because they're putting everything. They got white tags on everything or like a lot of stuff, which means they're lowering prices. So, but then you just got. I mean, you can do the same thing with consoles. There's no cash for console ads, but you can do the same thing. Sometimes there are people that run cash for console ads on Marketplace, but there's not many. Probably an untapped market on Marketplace, honestly, but it is what it is. All right, and then moving on to repeats and referrals. Repeats and referrals, the goal here is you want to aim for $500 to $1,000 in profit per year from repeat customers. This is the goal. You guys should always be aiming every single customer you come in contact with. You should be saving their information. You can use Resell Deck to do this. And you should be following up with them every single month after you buy from them. The reason for this, guys, is because if they sell to you once, they're likely to sell to you again, right? And a lot of these people we purchase from, they think we're like some fly-by-night, one night stand type freaking resellers. Like that's what they think we are. So we have to prove them wrong in that way. And we have to show them like, hey, I run a business. I want, I keep you in my system. I follow up regularly to give you, I want to give you more cash over and over and over and over again, right? You have to let them know that because let's be real. Has anybody on here actually met with a reseller like in the past to sell something? If there's anybody here that has, let me know. Okay, I guess not. All right. Anyway, so a lot of these people, they have a pretty bad experience with other resellers. And if you can make it a good experience for them, the likelihood that they sell to you again is incredibly high. All right. So always ask satisfied customers for referrals. Once again, we want to go down the referral way where we basically ask, hey, do you know anyone else who might be looking to sell their device? Right. And then if you want to take a step further, you can be like, hey, if you could, let's put them in a three-way text and, call them right now. Now, something I'm personally testing out right now, it's working hit or miss currently, is I'm like, hey, do you know anybody just like you that might want to come with you to sell their devices too? That way you can bring one other person, like they can bring a friend with them, right? And right now it's very hit or miss. Like I'm trying to find the right wording to make it happen more. But it's worked a few times. It hasn't worked enough times for me to be able to teach it, but just saying, if you guys want to test it out, feel free to do so. And then the expected outcome from implementing and stacking the transition to the business on top of the core 4, your expected outcome by implementing these on top of the core 4 is to get you to over $100,000 a year in profit or more. Okay, 6 figures in profit is not outside of the whole thing. Okay, so by following this SOP, you can systematically grow your phone flipping side hustle into a thriving business, consistently doing reach outs, effective advertising, diversification, strong negotiation skills, all of that good stuff, right? So now at this point, like whenever you start transitioning to the business point, once you start hitting around like the $10,000 profit mark in the business, because I know this question is coming, that is when you should start looking into hiring pieces of the core 4 method out. Okay. So for example, reach outs. You can hire a VA to do reach outs for you. 20 a day. You can have them do it. Here's how I do it, or here's how I do it. I hired a VA a while back. I still do reach outs myself, just proof of concept and content and stuff like that. But what I had him do was I had him go to Marketplace on his profile, close the deal, get their phone number, and then give it to me over Slack. That's the way I did it. Now you can use your own, you can use Messenger, you can use whatever. But anyway, he would send me what the deal was, how much he closed them for, and what their phone number was, and then I would just give them a phone call. And that's it. And then we just confirmed the meetup, and that was it. That's how it worked. That's how easy it can be. Doesn't have to be crazy. Doesn't have to be, you don't need an SOP for it, right? It would help if you did. And I hope to create one here soon for that too. But as far as ads go, if you guys are going through this program, by the end of the 6-month mark, you should be able to run your own ads without any issue. So you don't really need to hire that out. And I'll be real with you guys, the people that advertise running ads, they're only logging into your account probably 1 to 2 times a month. Just being real. How do I know that? Because that's what I did. So buyback ads are not that hard, just so you guys know. And then negotiation, if you want to hire that out, the way I actually recommend hiring that out is actually hiring somebody from the program who, they might not be getting amazing results at the moment, but they've been trained on how it works, or maybe they're not running the business right now because they might be having some cash flow problems or something like that, right? And they can actually negotiate on your behalf and make money that way, right? So the way that I usually pay my negotiator is 20% on the item that he closes, 30% on anything that he upsells. And now that's 20 and 30% of the profit, okay, after it sells. That's how that works. Not the sale price, not any of that. So they're incentivized to make as much profit on the deal as possible because they make more money. So that's how that works. Outside of that, guys, does anybody have any questions?
Chris, I have a question. It's not related to this, so maybe I could hold it till later.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. All right. So I where is it? I got this. I think it's an iPhone 12, and when I was appraising it, negotiating all that before buying it, I was going off of the locked phone price off of Eco ATM and the Mercury phone buyer price sheet. I don't think I'm totally clear on the difference between bad ESN and carrier locked, because it's definitely carrier locked, but it shows up clean on SecW. The account isn't like in arrears. It's not locked because of non-payment, but this guy that I bought it from, he's probably not going to pay it off.
Yeah. So
how do you know that stuff going into it, and how do you account for it in appraisal and then listing it on eBay to sell?
Sure. Yeah. So carrier lock, just assume it's bad ESN.
Okay.
Just assume that.
Regardless of the
just
carrier.
assume that they're not going to pay it off. Right? If they do pay it off, great. The likelihood that they don't because they sold the phone is quite low, right? Okay. So the best way to go about it is just assume just right from the gate, everything is check ESN, bad ESN, finance. Pretty much all the same thing, right? Now, blacklisted is where it gets different, right? If you look it up and it's literally reported lost or stolen, that's a different thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's still like quote unquote considered bad ESN, but like it's blacklisted at this point, okay. Right? Can't be used, can't be whatever. And obviously you don't want that in your inventory and stuff. You don't want a rando to show up at your house and be like, hey, you got my phone in there, Yeah, not exactly the ideal, thing. So reiterate the question real quick. That way I can fully answer it for you.
Okay, so just assume that everything's bad ESN if it shows up as carrier locked.
Correct.
Assume that I'm gonna have to list it on eBay as bad ESN, check ESN.
Yes.
Okay, and then on the Mercury price sheet, the listing prices for carrier locked, assume bad ESN. Is that
Exactly. Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, it'll say carrier locked, but that's bad ESN too.
Okay.
Carrier locked is just carrier locked. Just assume all carrier locked is bad ESN.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's how it works. So
All right.
it's all the same pricing, bad ESN or carrier locked, either way.
On the Mercury price sheet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Aaron does not care if it is finance. He doesn't care. So, because it's all basically the same anyway. I mean, the only real difference there is like you can sell a carrier locked device that's paid off, right? But you could have gotten more for it, right? But to the direct buyers, it doesn't mean jack squat because it's already locked, right? So, but like you could I theoretically sell a T-Mobile paid off phone on Swappa and make more money. You could. Do you want to? You know, it's neither here or there, right?
Okay.
So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it does.
I also have a document called "What is an IMEI?" I don't know if you've seen that yet.
Yeah, I went through the Reseller 2.0 videos, and I think I just wasn't piecing them together in the way that you just explained.
I got to find a way to I got to mind map that out for people to understand it because a lot of people have that question. Okay. To me, it's just common knowledge just because I've been in the industry for so long. So if it, they're just all the same. Check ESN is carrier locked. Just think of it like that, right? Blacklisted is blacklisted.
So when someone lists a phone on eBay that says T-Mobile unlocked, that means
okay. So that's a carrier unlocking. Okay, so that means it's been unlocked from T-Mobile.
Okay, as opposed to like a factory unlocked phone.
Exactly. Carrier unlocking it was unlocked from AT&T. It was unlocked from T-Mobile.
Gotcha.
Factory unlocked is we bought this thing straight from Apple, right? That's the difference there. Yeah, that could be where you're getting mixed up, but that's what that means. It means they've just unlocked it from the carrier.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Anybody else have any questions?
I guess if no one else has a question, I have another question or maybe a suggestion. I saw a comment. I don't know how to say his name. Is it Nivon or Nevin?
Nivon, yeah.
Nivon. He was talking about he's got his fix-it crew. He's buying broken phones and having a fix-it crew.
Yep.
I would love to have him on one of these live meetings explaining how that works and how to put that together.
For sure. Yeah. I'll let him fine tune it a little bit more. Yeah. But basically, dude, he just found a repair shop that repairs stuff for a good price. So a lot of times you can make deals with the repair shops to get, like, if you buy a whole bunch of cracked devices and stuff, you can actually get them to repair the devices for a cheaper price if you bring them a lot of business. So it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier with finding the local resellers and getting them to sell to you, but you just take a smaller profit, but more volume, right? It's the opposite kind of same way for the repair shop. They're just getting more devices, but they're making less profit each time, but they're making more volume, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
A win-win deal with a local repair shop.
It's a win-win deal. Yeah. Okay. Now you can take it a step further too. You can market for the repair shop for free. You can just market their ads for them and get an even better cut as well. Like, you guys know how to run buyback ads. Running repair ads is the same game for the most part. So, that's it. Once you start building these skill sets, you can actually start negotiating with skill sets, right? And that's a different game, right? Like, I've bought the courses, I've bought the masterminds, I've bought those things. Once you get into the masterminds, you don't a lot of the times actually pay each other anymore. It's more like you pay with the skill set. like so for a good example, I had a good friend of mine from like a $24,000 mastermind that I joined. And you pay for that community, by the way, whenever you get that high in those things. I reached out to him like, hey, dude, I would really like for you to show me like how you set up this whole back end system. And in return, I will show you how I did this certain skill set and like how I'm closing deals on my 7-month deal or whatever like that the Ascension program that I got going on. Let's just trade the skill set here on a Zoom call and it's a win-win. So it's the same game. Like if you know how to run ads or you know, things like that for these shops, because a lot of them don't have any skill sets at all. And they don't have the means on top of it, meaning money, to pay for them. So if you can provide a service for quote unquote like free and get an amazing service in terms of like repairs, you can make a good deal with them. So that's how he's doing it. He found another repair shop that was willing to work with him and handle the volume, and that's what he did.
All right, cool.
Yeah, and you can also do that like with places that do HDMI repair. That way you can, you know, it's just extra. Like you don't want to go too crazy. So like you got your core business, right, which is the buying and the flipping. Mm-hmm. But as you grow in the business, what starts to happen is you get like this little offshoot of it, right? And then you get like it starts taking more out of your mind, right? It's like, oh, I got to go and drive 20 minutes to go pick up my phones or whatever. And then you get another offshoot where you start, let's say, unlocking phones, and then you get another offshoot. But so you see how the business can start turning into like 3 to 4 businesses, and that is not ideal. That's how people spread their skill sets, but they also spread their time, really, and that it's really difficult to focus. I mean, let's be real. I heard this quote the other day. We have one ass. Can you ride 3 horses? See what I mean? Like, I heard that quote the other day, and I was like, that right there, man. Like, that was gold.
Yeah, and there's so much opportunity out there if you try and catch it all. It's like trying to catch 10 jackrabbits.
Exactly. Yeah, the man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. Right. Yeah. So it's better to, in my opinion, it's better to focus on one thing, and then once you have that one thing somewhat like halfway automated, you can add in a piece, right? That's why like the greatest entrepreneurs of all time, they say no to almost everything. Almost everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Aaron. Aaron is a great example of this. All Aaron does is buy and sell. That is it. It's the only thing he does. And then he lives his life at night. You know, like that's it, dude. And like a lot of it, even me, I mean, a lot of my stuff is like vertically integrated, right? Like I resell, I turn the reselling into the content. I turn the content into the coaching. Like it's vertically integrated. So it works within itself. But that's why you don't see me getting into repairs. I mean, I cannot manage it. It takes too long. I had a kid on who joined the school community the other day, a free one. And he was like, should I fix and flip? And I'm like, well, do you have any repair experience? He's like, no, I don't. And I was like, then no, I don't think you should at all. The only people that I recommend fixing and flipping to are the people that already have experience repairing phones. Mm-hmm. Like they already learned the skill set. You're going to be trying to learn 2 skill sets at the same time, and it's not going to work. Like your attention will be divided, and it will be much more difficult. So that's why I recommend like hit the milestone of 10,000 in profit a month. Then you can start playing around with things a little bit.
Yeah, and if you're trying to learn 2 skill sets at once, you're kind of putting one of them on hold until the other one's done. That whole knowledge consumption. Like as soon as I've learned how to do all this stuff, then I'll start putting it into action.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I've seen so many like phone flippers implode their business because they got into repairs. Like totally imploded their business, and then they go back to phone flipping. Like it's wild. So like they'll start doing incredibly well, And then they get the shiny object syndrome and be like, oh, I can make more money by doing repairs, right? And they go off in this tangent, this rabbit hunt, right? To learn this new skill set. And this skill set takes time and money. And dude, repairing stuff is expensive. Like, I don't know, you guys don't know, you got to buy the machine to be safe about it. You got to get the glass out of your fingers, you know, like there's a whole aspect to that business that people don't even like, can you make more money doing it? Yes, but at what cost? How much time is it going to take? Right? It takes 20 hours to become proficient at one thing, right? The mastery comes after the 20 hours. So it's like, you can't really divide your attention too much if you want to be super successful in the thing that you do. My biggest like recommendation here is like, if you plan on doing something else, have that known whenever you start this business. Like if you want to roll this into like real estate or like a marketing agency, or these are just examples that I've seen students do. Know that beforehand, you know, hit the 10,000 mark, roll the money into starting an agency, roll it into flipping real estate like Kayla did, right? They just landed their first deal. They made like $11,000 in profit on real estate. And she reached out to me and she's like, it's the same business. She's like, it's the same exact business.
It's the same negotiation
different inventory.
Skills.
Yeah. And I was like, that's exactly what I told her too. I was like, it's the same industry.
Yeah.
So that, you know.
Well, I knew when I started going through Aaron's negotiation, I mean, first the bullet negotiation, but then Aaron's negotiation script. And I was like, this is one of those Swiss Army knife tools. Like it will work anywhere as long as
yes, it will. It will. It's wild. But
I was thinking about this idea of putting together kind of a toolkit for like a field kit for meetups.
Yeah.
Based on the stuff that I've run into in the past, like first one of the switches, Nintendo switches that I picked up, it wasn't charged, and so I was like, well, let's go over to my car. It's parked over there, and we'll plug it in. So I was like, okay, in my toolkit, I need one of those rechargeable power banks. And then the other day, this guy was like, oh, I have an iPhone, but my dumb kid password like pin code locked it after I reset it. And we were at the gas station. I was like, I don't have the right cord, so I need to put one of those in my toolkit too.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that. So I wanted to actually do something like that for a while. It's one of those things that keeps getting put on the back burner, right? Mm-hmm. Honestly, I probably need to just put an Amazon cart together for everybody where they can just like purchase everything all at once. Because there's a lot of tools that you can use, tools of the trade. Like there's like multi laptop chargers and multi chargers for phones and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And I just keep forgetting to put it together. Like it's just one of those things that I've just been putting off forever, and I need to just finally like. It's one of those things that you put off forever, but it'll take you like 45 minutes to put together. You know, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I was actually thinking about like doing that and putting like a backpack together and sell it as like the phone flippers, quote unquote, actual starter kit.
This is my meetup backpack. It's got all my stuff in there.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting together something and just putting the Recelerator logo on it and like doing that kind of thing. Just ship it to every new client we get. Like that was a thought of mine. I'm just wondering how expensive it would probably cost about $120 to put it all together, but it'd be worth it because
Amazon list would be.
But yeah, I've been thinking about doing something like that for a while. I just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, I mean, if you come up with any ideas, finding good stuff on Amazon, like a portable like miniature TV, like that's something I would add to it, where you can plug in an HDMI for consoles. Because you ran into that problem recently.
Yeah,
that would have saved your ass.
I saw the one that I forget who I was discussing that with, and it was a portable monitor on a stand. But I saw something else on Facebook Marketplace that looks better. It is a portable monitor, kind of the same form factor as an iPad, but it comes in a folio that protects it, but it folds a lot flatter.
Yeah.
So you can fit it in a backpack better and it's protected.
Yeah, the phone flipping backpack. It'd be cool. It'd be a cool thing to sell as like merch.
That sounds really dope.
I know, right? Yeah. I just need to take some time to put it together. I'm so used to like client fulfillment and marketing and everything. It just takes time. But hope you guys enjoy this class. It'll be uploaded here in a little bit. It'll probably be uploaded tomorrow, actually. So if you guys want to watch the replay, it'll be uploaded tomorrow. It takes a little bit to upload these to YouTube. But I'll see you guys next week.
All right, cool. That was a good one, Chris. Thank you.
Bye.